we've just spoken about strategy. Now we're going to talk about high performance coaching. As a cognitive psychologist, my role within Nuestar is around performance coaching of the client from where they are today, where they need to be tomorrow. And really, it's about that psychology of being able to get a well-formed outcome from them, from where they are, and get them to change their emotions, which drives their thinking, which drives their performance, period. Now, part of that process is I can talk you through around what high performance is. That is really critical about how high performers operate and how they're able to get and accelerate their results. So part of that high performance is I want to just talk through logical levels. So as we chunk up, if we have a look at environment, you cannot change the environment that you're in. You cannot change the desk or the boardroom that you're currently performing in. What you can do, though, in terms of you chunking up into behaviour drives performance. So that's really being able to transcend from environment to include behaviour. Once you've got behaviour, then you look at capability. So you're transcending from behaviour into capability. Capability looks at your self-confidence and your skills. We want to have making sure that your skills and your self-confidence is commensurate. You can't have your skills higher than your self-confidence. You don't want to go to a dentist who's got very good self-confidence, but below skill level. Then you transcend and include that to belief. So belief will be able to enable you, but it also can abstain you. It's a generalization having a belief. So it's not good enough just to have belief. You've got to move beyond that, because belief, you can have a limiting belief. So what we wanted to try and do is push further into being able to transcend that into values. Values are really critical. It's really where your belief system actually sits. So values is, what you as an individual you live by. You transcend your values into identity. What is your purpose? Who are you? That's really critical to be able to identify who you are as an individual. So what we've done is just chunked up in terms of logical levels. Now, in high performance, what we want to do is you'd be able to zoom out like we just have done, but you want to be able to zoom in, right? So high performers, they understand who they are. They have a very clear understanding of who they are. They understand their values. They have an innate belief in themselves. In terms of their capability, they understand their self-confidence, but they also understand those thousands and thousands of hours of repetition, that mind to muscle to pattern, being able to do that. It's called muscle memory. So they're very good at muscle memory, and then they're able to go into performance. So what we want to try and do, and what performance, high-performing athletes, for example, they're able to shift their thinking straight into their environment. So they lose their mind, come to their senses. So they get into what is called flow or peak performance, or they get into the zone. So that's the environment. That's where high performance actually happens. The athlete goes in there. They're not thinking anymore about what they're doing. They're just doing. And that comes from each of these logical levels. High-performing individuals, high-performing investors, business people, entertainers, they all have two critical principles: mental positioning and huge work ethic. So they're two criteria that high performers have. Then we move across to what I call is the self-actualization model. And this is really, this is around having performance on one axis and having meaning on the other axis. So with performance, that's around flatlining cognitive intelligence. It's not good enough just to have performance without meaning. You've got to have meaning, which drives performance. So what we want to try and do is being able to, what we call being able to self-actualize. So you want to have high performance, and you also want to have high meaning. So if you just have high performance, right? What you have as an athlete, you have burnout, or you have in the corporate world, it's called being a workaholic. If you have high meaning with low performance, you're basically living in fluffland. That's not where you want to spend your time. What we want to be able to do in high performance, and that's in Nuestar, what I do is hold accountable our clients to have that flexibility of emotional intelligence. That's being able to then step into the zone, step into peak performance, step into where they've been able to operate and do exceptionally well at making decisions, at being able to regulate their emotions, being able to regulate their outcome and their performance. So emotional intelligence is very, very critical in the high performance space. And as a cognitive psychologist and neurosemantic coach, it's really around getting a well-formed outcome, being able to ground exactly where they are now in terms of subject, looking at the context of when are they going to do it, where are they going to do it, who are they going to do it with, and then into process. What do you need to do to get what you want? How are you going to monitor that? Have you got a strategy? Have you got a plan? How do you need external people to help you, or internal people, internal reference? It's around then being able to use quality checks. It's around, is this compelling to be able to do what you know? Is there anything stopping you? Right, so that's really a high performance, it's a high performance conversation. It's called a well-formed outcome. So that's really around high performance, and it's where I spend most of my time in terms of coming into Nuestar. You will have a discovery session, which a lot of this information will come out into the discovery session. Where are you up to now? And that discovery session generally takes about 30 minutes, and that's the introduction into Nuestar. Then what happens is I'll also do 6 monthly reviews with clients, and it's really about extracting where they are today, how they're tracking, what their performance is, how the continuum on their performance, and is there anything stopping them? Is there any obstacles? Is there any obstructions in the way? So that's really encapsulates both strategy, what I spoke about, and high performance, which is driving the individual, making sure that their emotions drive their thinking, which drives ultimately their performance.